Hey Doc, Dr. Uhrmacher here. Thanks for taking some time to learn how you can get more new patients using Facebook. And there's a number of ways you can use Facebook to get new patients. This one happens to be, though, my absolute favorite. And it's my favorite because the marketing strategy continues to stand the test of time no matter which platform you use, all right? So, and just like all my other trainings, this is going to be 100% transparent. I'm going to tell you all about this strategy. I'll do that first, then I'm going to physically show you how to do it. All right, I'll take you inside my computer right here. You'll see it on the screen. That way you can walk away knowing exactly what I do to get nonstop new patients using Facebook. All right, so before we get started, you need to decide too if you really want new patients from Facebook, all right? Because this is obviously going to take some of your time. And so I want you to think about something real quick. Think about the last time you had a new patient. Maybe that was 30 minutes ago, maybe it was yesterday, maybe it was a week ago. But you went through your consultation with them, you did your exam, your report, all of that. And whether you did all that in a half hour or 3 separate visits doesn't really matter. But just keep in mind, you were really thorough, you were complete with them, you gave them everything they needed to know. And it came down to them saying yes or no to the plan that you laid out for them, right? Are you ever frustrated with the ones that say no, or the ones that give you the whole, I have to think about it? All right, you just gave them a solution to their pain or their problem, and they didn't just come out and say, yeah, I want to do that. All right, just like that right there, I get frustrated when I show a doc how to get new patients, and they just walk away and do nothing. So if you're not going to take action by doing this, honestly, just shut off the video now, all right? Don't waste your time. Mine, I'm doing it once and it's done. So don't waste your time. Go out, find something, spend your time learning about something that you really want to do. All right. Now, if you truly answered yes, that you do want to get new patients from Facebook, then let's get rolling. All right. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. The best part for you is I have absolutely nothing to sell in this training. All right. Completely free, nothing to offer at the end. Is that fair enough for you? All right. As the whole trainings, webinars, all that goes, now is a phenomenal time to block out any distractions, all right? Put away your phone, close out of Facebook, anything else you got going on. Give this training the roughly, I'm going to say 30 minutes that you need to learn the strategies. And if I were in your shoes right now, I would watch this all the way through the first time, just take some notes as you go along through here, then watch it again and follow all the steps that I lay out for you. I think you'll understand it a whole lot better after you go through it one time. All right, I'm going to walk you through a strategy called lead generation with Facebook retargeting and ad sequencing. All right, most people have never heard of that. I follow guys way smarter than me that spend a whole bunch of money, upwards of $1 million a month on Facebook ads. So I follow those guys. Something to keep in mind with the strategy as well, we are using paid Facebook advertising. Let me say that again. It's paid, pay per click. This is not a free guerrilla marketing strategy. So if you don't want to invest dollars in marketing your practice, this isn't for you either. Okay? Keep that in mind. And knowing that we're talking about paid marketing, we really need to pay attention to your return on investment. All right? You may have seen other trainings, Facebook posts, consultants, gurus, all that stuff. Some of us good name, some of us bad name, whatever it may be. They talk about price per click, all right, pay per click. They talk about click-through rates. They talk about price per view, or they're getting 1 cent video views. Those statistics are helpful, but at the end of the day, I want you to pay attention to how much you spend to actually acquire a new patient. All right, if you know the lifetime value of one of your patients is worth $3,000 to you, would you be willing to spend $1,000 to acquire one of those new patients? I would. I'd trade $1,000 for $3,000 all day long. But you need to know your number and you need to find what number you're willing to spend. All right, you'll see shortly how this strategy too actually gets better. The return gets better the longer you do it. So getting the cheap clicks or getting cheap video views isn't near as much fun as getting new patients with a great return on investment. All right. So look at it this way. If you're getting clicks to your website for 10 cents, all right, that's pretty good, but you aren't getting any new patients, well then your ROI is zero. All right, so it doesn't matter how cheap they are, you're not making any money. And on the other end of that, I'd be happy to pay $10 per click if I knew that for every, let's say, 21 clicks, I was getting a new patient. All right, $210 to get a new patient. That'd be a tremendous return on my investment. So pay attention to how you measure success and focus on the right statistics. All right, and there's multiple conversion points in a good marketing funnel, and those are just some of them. So let's start this with what lead generation is and why it's so powerful at getting really this nonstop flow of new patients so you can grow your practice. And also why I love it for chiropractic when it comes to niches that most people don't associate with chiropractic, and that's a lot of them, right? I focus for myself and my members, I focus on getting kids in to see chiropractors. And most people don't associate chiropractic with kids, right? For a lot of those things. Unless they've already heard this message, they just don't put the two together. So lead generation looks like something like this. Let's say this one that I have up here, this colic one. You have a Facebook ad. That ad gets you to, and these won't match up, I'm going to explain this a little more, gets it to a squeeze page, and let's say it's this one. It's asking your prospect to enter their name and email then in exchange for a solution to their problem. This one's for ADHD. Then on the back end of that, from here, it delivers to them a free report or a free video, something that can communicate the solution to your prospect, the one they're looking for. All right. Then towards the end of that report or video, you're going to have a call to action. You want them to obviously take action and fill out your new patient special or call your office, whatever it is. You need to have a call to action so it leads them down the path of what's next. Now we talked about it too. Let's say this is the ad that's here. This is a conversion point. All right. They can click on this. You want obviously more people to click on that. The more people that do, the more people see this. And again, if this was an ADHD ad, it'd be better. I'll show you this stuff in a second. This is just what I had up. Now there's a conversion point here. How many of the people that land on this page actually put in their name and email? And then there's going to be the report page that you want to know how many people that end up on that report page actually follow your call to action. All right, so there's conversion points at each point throughout a marketing funnel, like I said. And with that said, each of those conversion points, I should mention, this strategy, it only takes the prospect as far as the phone call or the call to action to your office, all right? Any conversion points you have from your staff actually answering the phone, all the way through to you getting the patient to start care, that's an entirely different training. There's some robust things about that, all right? This strategy is the marketing, the external. This is meant to get new patients to see your message and call your office. So the reason I love lead generation so much is because now I have their email because they gave it to me so that I can follow up with them. I can build a relationship with them and be there with them when they're ready to take action, all right? Because only a small amount of the prospects are actually going to take action on day one. For one, they don't know you, all right? They think, you're probably just trying to extract money from them, and they're probably somewhat skeptical, all right? So when you continue to follow up with them and create value for them, whether they take action or not, create value for people. It doesn't matter if they do exactly what you want to do. Create value for people. And you build a relationship with them, you will be there for when, what I call it, their why, when their why gets big enough. And everyone has a why, all right? You have to be there when they are ready, not necessarily when you're ready to run an ad and get a new patient. Let me give you an example of this why for those of you that haven't heard this. Let's say a mom, they opt in for this free ADHD report here. She reads through the report and it makes total sense. And here's what I sent them to. Makes complete sense to the mom. They get it. They think, as they're going through it, they're like, I see what he's saying. I think it could probably help my kid. But right at the moment, things are going okay for her child. And so she kind of forgets about it. And that's okay. It happens. Life gets in the way. I keep sending her regular and consistent email communication with value. I'm building trust and I'm building a relationship with her. Then, let's say a few weeks later, she gets a call from the school and telling her that her little Johnny is having a pretty tough day at school. All right, she's a little bit mad. She's probably a little bit embarrassed. What are the other kids thinking? What are the other parents thinking? And now she's ready to do something about it. Her why just got big enough. And what happened? She sees one of my emails about how chiropractic can help. Now she's going to pick up the phone and call to get an appointment. All right, there's no gimmicks in this. There's no bait and switch, no coupons. It's valuable information for this prospect and building a relationship with the prospect. All right, that's what it comes down to. Now, second reason I like lead generation for getting new patients is because it gives me a chance to connect the dots about how chiropractic works for everything they had no idea chiropractic could help with. All right? Because you got to be honest, when you're trying to show prospects that an intact nervous system can help their body heal, sometimes it takes a few tries and it takes multiple touches in there. All right, for me, again, when I'm attracting new patients for autism, ADHD, ear infections, asthma, allergies, there's definitely some skepticism. They've heard all kinds of other stuff from other, shall we say, call them healthcare providers, right? And so I need to follow up with more touches, more testimonials, and more relationship. And the last big reason I like lead generation is because it builds on itself each and every month that you do this, all right? Kind of like how an adjustment builds on one another. Each time you unlock that nervous system, it allows your body to adapt to stress that much better. An example of this, in the case of lead generation, it looks something like this. Let's say, and I'm just going to write on my screen here. So let's say you generate 100 leads in your first month. You got 100 here, and it's hard to write it with the mouse, so you can't knock the writing. And a lead here for anyone, it's someone who on that previous page, they gave me their name and email exchange for this free report. Let's say out of those 100, let's say a big fat whopping one of them becomes a new patient, right? So you got one new patient. And let's not talk about the spend right at this point again. Too many variables in between there. I just want to show you how this builds on it. But now you have 99 people that did not, right? 99 of those, you're going to continue to follow up with them and you're going to send them regular and consistent emails to them. Minimum, after your initial sequence, minimum of once a week that they should be getting something. Now, let's say that in month 2, you generate another 100 leads. Pretty good deal, right? And let's say that one of these becomes a new patient. So that's also a pretty good deal, but also what's happened is because you continued to nurture these 99, you get one more out of those that their Y got big enough. But you still have 99 here out of this, and now you got 98 out of this because you got one more out of that one. See how it just kind of pulls off there? Some people are going to opt out too. Again, I got to make this as simple as I can. There's about 1,000 different ways this could go. But you get 3 patients now. Now in month 3, you get another 100 leads. And let's say if you're staying on the same average, you're going to get 1 new patient. And this is not an accurate, this is just for my math, trust me here. But out of these 2, you continued to nurture those, so you get 1 more from each of those. See how that's starting to build? Because all of these people from previous months, their why is getting big enough, or now all of a sudden they trust you, or you gave them the right little nugget of information that it made it click for them. Whatever the case may be, you've generated more and more new patients and they continue to build. If you've been on my list for any amount of time, you know that you get regular follow-up from me and people take action at different points. All right, so you have no control over that. You continue to create value, you continue to give them relationship, and you continue to build their trust, and they're going to make some choices on their own whenever that is. All right, so do you see how it builds on itself? Based on this example, we're looking at 3 months, you would have generated 6 new patients, which again, It's just off this math. But you still have 294 leads in your email autoresponder that you're going to continue to communicate with. All right, that's a lot of people, and that continues to build, and that's why it's a phenomenal long-term strategy, because it continues to build. And this, obviously, the bigger you scale your ad spend, and based on your population, it's going to look different. And of course, now listen, this doesn't count any referrals that you get from these new patients, because they're always going to refer. And I've even had patients, or excuse me, new patients come from a prospect. These prospects will refer people to you. Sometimes they won't come in, but they will refer to you. It's crazy. All right. So my 3 reasons why I love lead generation for this: gives me a chance to build a relationship, gives me a chance to overcome skepticism, and it builds on itself every month. All right. I also love it because it's time tested. Like I said, lead generation is nothing new. I actually use this to build 3 7-figure practices. I did it all at the time through direct mail. It was not near this easy. But you can do it now. You can do it exponentially faster with Facebook, with the internet, with any of the other platforms. I'm showing you one. All right. So let's look at the individual components here of this process again. We kind of need to look at it from the squeeze page forward, all right? And then you have to come back to the Facebook ad, because you can't very well run an ad without having the pages and the follow-up in place to capture the lead, all right? And then you obviously have to send them follow-up emails and eventually your weekly newsletter. All right, so I have multiple funnels for kids' niches. So I'm just, since we got the ADHD up here, I'm going to walk you through that funnel. Each one obviously has different triggers that you need to use, and you got to test. All right, I can't say test enough. Understanding that testing or marketing really is testing. All right, you have some core strategies that you start with, but the rest is testing. You got to put a little money towards it and see what results you get, and then you tweak a little bit. And then you put some money towards it and you tweak a little bit. It's always a testing and tweaking to try and get the best results from it. All right. This page, like I said, it's all about ADHD. All right. And this prospect, they only have 2 choices. Number 1, they can give me their name and email and get the report, or they can go right up there and they can X out of it on a PC, or right up there to X out of it on Mac. They can close out. All right. It's meant to get them into the funnel. I want their email so I can follow up with them. All right. Now, statistics on this for a decent campaign, all right, shows that roughly 10% of the visitors from your campaign, if you target halfway decent, again, we're talking an average, will give you their name and email in return for this free report, free video, whatever it is. All right. That's an average. Some are worse, some are better. Remember, don't get terribly hung up on this, because the return on investment is what counts at the end of the day. But you do need to know your stats from the beginning to see what's working and what's not. So if you have 10% of your visitors give you their info, that also means a whopping 90%, all right, they're going to leave, right? And I'll touch on that when I go into the ads, because we're not going to let those visitors get away. Once the visitor enters their name and email, multiple things are going to happen, really. Let me clear this out. We're going to send them directly to the report. All right, as soon as they do that, it's going boom, and it's going to take them to this free report. With this, the internet really has people spoiled. All right, they want instant gratification, so we send it right to them. And this is a page built right into WordPress, all right? There's no downloading or anything like that. People don't like downloads. They're afraid of viruses, spyware, whatever it is. So just create a simple page, deliver the content to them, all right? After this as well, they go into an autoresponder sequence, all right? So these are the emails that follow up with them on a regular basis, all right? It fires off emails. So it's going to do the first thing. It sends them an email that thanks them for requesting the report. That's important. Give them a thank you email. In that, it also includes a link back to this report page. All right. That way, if they close out of the page, whatever, they still have it in their email and they go back to it later. And most people, when you monitor your clicks, are going to end up looking at it multiple times from that first email. This autoresponder, it also fires off emails on a regular basis over the next 30 days or so. All right. After that, you got to contact them, like I said, at least once a week in email with content that's relevant to how you can create value for them. All right. And there's real no rocket science on this initial sequence too. I get that question of, just kind of do this. But I recommend if you have the content and you have great testimonials, send them every day. All right. If you create value for someone, you can't send them too much. That's really important to know. And the absolute best content that you can send are video case studies and video testimonials. All right. And then put links back to your call to action. I'm going to do something too. If we go into YouTube, I want you to search something and take a look at these. Chiro Excellence. These are some phenomenal ones to look at. So look at any of these. All right, there we go. We got an ad. It didn't catch up with us. So go over here to Chiro Excellence. They have some phenomenal examples of how to do these, what I call video case studies. All right, it's them kind of chronicling how this happens. And look at this, the number of views. This is 3 months ago, over 6 million views. How do you like that? People love sharing these videos. And so a lot of people see it. So if you want them to get shared, which gives you more credibility, which draws more people to you, do this type of marketing. I can't tell you, it's phenomenal. All right. And here's why this is some of the great follow-up, because in this report right here, you're telling them how great you are. All right. You're telling them, I'm awesome. I can solve all your problems. The prospect is still a little skeptical. All right. They're thinking, I think I believe you. You know what? But you're trying to get me to come in because I know deep down you want to get money from me so you can get another Mercedes. That's what people are thinking. You might even think that about other stuff. All right. You're just trying to sell me this thing. When you use these video case studies and like video testimonials, you're letting other people share how great you are. All right. But I can tell you this type of video here will even hands down trump a video testimonial. You get to see it with your own eyes, this take place. All right. These are people sharing their story about how their kid, in some of these cases, how they've been helped. You cannot have enough of this marketing on your side. That's a little nugget that you can literally crush anyone in your area, and you'll get patients from all over the place because Dr. Ian here does. He gets patients to fly in from around the world. All right, I can tell you if you would simply use this strategy and consistently get new video case studies, then continue promoting them through your lead magnet, your lead generation, and then in your follow-up, you will never look for new patients again. Honestly, it'll be huge. And your free report page then, let's get over here. If I go all the way to the bottom, obviously mine's a little bit different than yours, but you have the call to action at the end, all right? And then from there, if they were to click on this, it would go to a final page, all right? In this case, again, I have a pop-up, then they put in their information. You can just do it so this web form is embedded in there versus a button. There's different ways to do it. But this way, when someone takes action, I cookie them differently and I start them down a different autoresponder follow-up sequence. I want to talk to them differently than a prospect that hasn't made the decision yet. All right? So backing up here, you run the ad. They end up on the squeeze page. About 10% are going to give their name and email that goes right to, again, don't make them download anything, right to the free report about how you can help, and it gives them that call to action at the end. They also get put into the autoresponder sequence to build a relationship. You're going to give them social proof. You're going to have the amazing case study videos that also offer a call to action for your new patient special. When they fill out that new patient special, let's call this one my new patient special. Then they go into the different autoresponder sequence. Continue the relationship. You obviously give them some education too. You can ask for referrals. Let them know they're in the right place. All right. This is also one of those things that after they've taken it, it helps get your new patients to show up. All right. It reduces no-shows. So you keep that relationship going. So that's the stuff that goes into it for the 10%. But now what about this other 90% that hit here and say, I'm not going to do it, and they click off of it? We still want to take care of those, all right? You can actually follow them around and continue showing them your Facebook ads to try and get them to come back to here. All right, and you've probably seen this happen to you already, all right? But what I'm about to show you is better than just showing them the same thing they've already seen. You can actually set it so that to show them a set of ads in a particular order so you can tell them a story. You can paint a picture for them as to why they need the free report. All right, you entice a certain percentage of them to come back and opt in. And this is called, I don't know if it's got an official title. This is what, from the people I learned it from, called it Facebook ad sequencing. Really what it is it's Facebook retargeting, which a lot of people have heard from, but it's on steroids, all right? And you can treat it very similar to your email autoresponder. Now, this is another great place in this follow-up email or this Facebook autoresponder, shall we call it even, those video case studies, all right? Let the parents do the selling for you, and you can even chop them out and just do teaser type of stuff so that you get them back to here. That way you're not giving it all away. You want them on your list, all right? All right, so here's what it looks like. Let's take a look in Ads Manager. Let's make sure I find, all right, to get one of these into your, there we go, okay. Come over here, click on the tools drop down, and again, this is, I'm in the business manager. It'll look very similar, maybe even identical. It's been a little while in your personal type of one, but you can come in here, you click on audiences, which I already did. Then from there, you can see I have a lot of audiences here. I've got my one general audience for this particular page that's called Kids Health Restored. All right, that's kind of one main pixel that I have for it. Anyone that lands on any of my websites gets, that I have this code on, gets pixeled to that, all right? From there, I have all kinds of audiences set up based on what I want to target, all right? So on this general targeting, I'm going to click on it, and you can see here, it's going to last, let's see if my marker can come off, 180 days. That's as long as Facebook will allow you to cookie a visitor. That means that unless they clear their cookies on their computer, you can continue to market to them through this audiences for 180 days. That's a long time, all right? And every time they come back to your squeeze page, it renews that cookie. But ultimately, you want them on your own list, like I said, so you don't have to pay to market to them. Your list is extremely valuable. All right, now these other individual cookies that you see here, all kinds of different ones going up here. Those are someone, let's say, no request. So this is someone that has, all right, let's go with this. I got to make sure I'm in the right order so I can make sure that this is, so that you understand this. Okay, so KHR day 1, this is someone here. See if you're looking in the right spot. Now see, the audience is too small to have it on there because people only get onto it and they don't stay very long because they're only there for a day and they're following through this. So unless you're driving thousands of visitors on a regular basis, this one might be too small. I think it needs to have at least 20 in there. All right. But you can see this KHR day 1 is my Kids Health Restored. All right, it's someone that visits the home page but didn't request a referral to one of my members. All right, that cookie stays on for 1 day and then it falls off. So I can run an ad to them. They hit my page that says, hey, you know, you didn't get the report. Here's a few things that you're missing out on. So it just kind of takes something out of the stuff, adds it back to them so they can see it again. It's letting them know they made a mistake. They need to come back. All right. They'll only see this ad the day after they visited the squeeze page, and then they never see that ad again. All right, so I have these for each of the squeeze pages in the ad accounts, so I can talk directly to the prospect that left that page. All right, I can show them information. If they were here, I want to talk about ADHD. I want to show them the video case studies for ADHD versus autism or ear infections. All right, be specific with them, and you'll convert 100 times better. There's going to be more here. Let's see. Okay, so then you have day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. It just goes through the list on these cookies. All right? That way I can show them a different ad each day. And the beauty is you only need to pixel on your website once in order to do it. All right? You simply set this original pixel up, and then you have it. Facebook's going to do all the tracking for you. You don't have to do a whole lot, all right? So let me show you how to set up one. We're just going to create one. Come over here. Click on that drop down. Click on Custom Audience, all right? You're going to click on Website Traffic. And from here, you can see it has some options for the website traffic. You can say anyone who visits your website. You can say people who visit specific pages. This is the one that works in this case where you say people visiting specific pages but not others. All right, and here's why that's important. All right, so we got this. Anyone who visits, in this case, this page, and I don't know what my thank you page URL is. So let's just say thank you. Anyone who visits this one but not the thank you page, the one that would get them past here, there it is, they're going to get cookied, or they're going to have this cookie, and this is day 1. This is the one where you can tell it which day. And I just name them. You can see here day 20 for autism. Someone that didn't get the report. And then that's where you name it down here in the bottom. All right, so that's going to be for day 1. Then all of this stuff gets identical, except you go through and you change this to day 2. And then you create another one that says day 3. Create another one that says day 4. That way you can, I'm going to cancel out of this, you can go in and run an ad to any of those days, and you can have it set up automatically so that it just happens, just like your autoresponder. Just like this, as soon as they hit that, they get cookied, and if they didn't take the actions you want, you're always running an ad to day 1. You're always running an ad to day 2. So you have these campaigns that are always set up. So when they're hitting those pages and not taking the actions you want, then you're going to turn around and set some cookies for them, right? And you're going to show them specific things. That's why that's super easy. It takes a little bit of time. You could set up 180 days worth of this, and you can put them in any increments. Again, I recommend doing every single day, and here's the reason why. Then later you can say, okay, I'm going to test this. I'm going to test running ads to them for the first 5 days. And you're going to test it and see what happens. Then you can test running an ad to days 2, 4, 6, 8. You can test things, but at least then you have the pixel, and those visitors are all pixeled, and it knows what day they're on. All right? This ends up then separating out that 10% of the people that gave you their name and email address. And why is that important? Well, now you just show the 90% that left this page, you're spending retargeting dollars on them and not the people that already gave you their info. So you save some of your ad budget, and I shouldn't say you save it, you can invest it into better and more retargeting or better front-end marketing, all right? The really cool thing about your ads that go to this 90%, they're much more effective because this person already clicked on your ad. They already saw this, so they raised their hand and said, I'm interested. Then they got here and they're like, maybe, I'm not quite ready, so they leave, all right? They're much more effective ad spend because they're interested in that condition, so you get a better return on those, all right? So really, that's all the pieces that are in place right there, all right? You create your ads, which are, I already have a tutorial for that. You come here, they end up on this. It just goes through the process. And this all comes down to testing, being efficient and effective with your ads and your landing pages, your squeeze pages, testing your reports to see what happens there, testing all your call to actions. It's just a time factor. And unless you already have something that is solid and been in place for a while, you're going to have to just monitor those stats and spend some money on them. All right? Come up with good follow-up sequences. That is where most people drop it big time, is they get a person to opt in, they might send them an email or two, and they're out the door. You should have significant follow-up sequences in place and then follow up forever. You follow up till they buy or die, all right? That's what it is, or until they opt out, and who cares if they opt out or not. And this is a strategy, this lead generation with Facebook, retargeting, sequencing, autoresponder, whatever you want to call it, you will have a phenomenal response. Remember, at the end of the day, follow your return on investment of I spent X number of dollars and I got X number of new patients. How much am I willing to spend to get a new patient? That's the math you need to know. And if you can hit that number, then you're good and you scale up and you continue to test and tweak and always try and refine your stats. So hopefully this helps. Like I said, now that you've watched it all the way through, go back into it and follow the simple steps. All right, you're going to need your landing page, your squeeze page. You're going to need your report. You're going to get those set up. You're going to have your autoresponder with your sequences in there. And then once you have all that in place, then you come back and you actually place the ad. Actually, you're going to need your retargeting sequences in here. Then you can come back and you can place your ads. All right. If you have any questions on this, shoot me an email, give me a call, and I'll see what I can do to help you out. Talk to you soon.